So you have what our cases are about. You have trauma that goes along with fraud, because fraud is expensive, especially if somebody's covering up the cover up and you got the judges helping. Then you're going against the grain because, first of all, you can't believe the judges are doing that, but then you really realize that they are. And then we talked about the fires. That what people, what kind of lift, what people go through to cover something up. Great. I mean, geez, you wonder, why am I doing this then? Why would you do something? It takes you twice as much time and money to cover it up later. That's a weakness, y'all. That means you got a problem. Because the problem you have has led you to a disaster. Because that's what you're in. You're in a disaster state and can't really get yourself back. But I believe that you can. I believe that you stop, because God loves the underdog, the world loves the underdog, and confess. Two kind of confessions. One, because you want to be a better person. If you want to be a believer, we want you to. And two, confess what you did wrong. And say, hey, you know what? I messed up. And I need to get it together, y'all. So that was the other thing. And then I talked about the Annalisa, the judge, and how it was important to have a judge. That's why I'm so excited about her. Keep praying for y'all. Judge Annalisa Torres. Annalisa Torres. Annalisa. Keep praying for her. Because she's under tremendous pressure. And people are trying to throw her some bones so she can live in a mansion and she can do it. She probably already live in one. Or they want to give her a bigger one for fraud or doing something that ain't right. No. When she put her hand up and took an oath of office before the public and before the community, before God, she meant it. And people don't need to buy their way out for justice. You don't need to. If you do, you know you're wrong. Then why would you be worried about it if it's not a problem? So this is a prime example of how things catch up with you. Things happen because you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad to be a part of what I'm glad to be a part of. I'm not really sure, how to say that statement, because I'm not really happy to be a part of a lot of crazy, stinky stuff. I'm not. But I understand that this is part of life and it's a journey. I don't pick fights, but I don't run from them either. And I think that if you want to live again, and you want to do what's right, you got to find ways to do what's right in the eyes of God first, and then yourself. And if you are finding yourself tangled up in your own decisions, the eyes of yourself, and your decisions is leading you down a path of crazy, then that's a problem. And I think you, as a person, want to make some changes. So I'm just happy today, regardless. I'm thankful always anyway, the good, bad, and the ugly. I am. You live to learn to live with those things. So I thank God for all of you. And I'm praying that some of these things we're going to be saying and talking about will help people out there become more thankful and helpful to their community and also to themselves. But we're capping on right now all this drama and stuff from why the fires are happening. Is there a cover up? And then how and why people will go through such great lengths to burn up houses, burn up communities, to burn up evidence. But let me tell you something. God has a way. Oh, yeah. Keep living. You ain't got to watch this day and night, but you're going to see God can show you better than he can tell you. He's got all power. He's all knowing. You ain't going to get nothing on God. And one thing I learned about God through all the years is he loves justice. He said it. He said it in the Bible, y'all. So whether you believe it or not, it ain't gonna change the facts. It's still true. It is, everybody. I'm on the winning side. I don't like to be on the losing side, so that's why I'm with God, right? Just saying. So at the end of the day, I'm just glad to be here, glad to be able to talk and converse some things, and as I said, clarify some things about our case, and we'll talk off and on what's going on, what's not going on. I wanted some questions, and I don't know if you guys had questions or not, but I wanted some questions, and either you can send them to me. Somebody wants me to come on and talk about the psychological stuff with Kim Porter and what it's like to talk about or to be in and I've never been in an abusive relationship, but some women could not understand why Cassie went through what she went through and why she stayed. And sometimes it's different reasons, can't get in her head, because people want lifestyles, or they're hoping somebody change, or they might really love the person and hope they change. But certain things people don't always understand why people do what they do. And everybody's temperament and the strength that they have to get away from stuff is different. Like my goddaughter was in an abusive relationship when she was a teenager. And she said that after she got through this domestic stuff, that it took her 5 whole years just to get her head together. Now, the young man who was doing it came from an abusive home. So both his parents were on drugs, heavy. Both his parents died from an overdose. So, some people got real life problems and situations that come up, and everybody don't handle it the same way. It's the same way with me losing my parents. That was different as well, because you don't know what you don't know, but you do know what you do know. And they said that when you know better, you should do better. But that's not always happening with people. So we see here that, like I said, there's sometimes it's a cover up, and people on a everyday status, if you will, normal people, if you will, if they're going through crazy stuff, such as the things that some of us went through, what is it to say what's really going on there at the top? And then also, what is God going to do? Because God's not going to just sit back and let it happen. You're not going to mock him, whether you believe in him or not. You need to have some sort of empathy and sympathy, especially for things that have happened that's been egregious and disgraceful. And as it relates to children, the innocent, God gonna step in and he gonna make an announcement. He's gonna do what he's gonna do. So at the end of the day, it behooves us to get out of his way. It behooves us to do what's right in the eyes of the community and ourselves, to give a respect for ourselves. But I get it. People have different beliefs. They don't like this. They don't like that. And I know some of the stuff that has happened is predicated on the dark side. I get it.